Last week, Terry, it was Christmas music, hip hop Christmas. This week it's dance music. It's New Year's Eve coming up, and so we have to pretend we're at the club with the music. Terry, what do you think about that?
Hey, it sounded pretty good to me. Yeah, I wanted to get up and start dancing a little
Yeah, I don't dance, Terry. I just hold the wall up. You know what I'm saying?
bit. Yeah, I do. Well, I used to dance. I don't dance too much now, but
I used to dance back in the day. I had the moves, Terry.
yeah.
Yes, probably freak everybody out, scare them the hell out of there. So, did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, we did. I had the family over and real small, but we had a really good time. And everybody was, had a great time. Everybody had a fun. Played a couple of games. That's fun. We haven't done that for a long time. I like playing those family games.
Yes, they're definitely fun to do.
Mhm.
We had too much Omicron in the family. 3 people in the family had it, so we normally have a pretty big gathering. It's just
Yeah.
me, my family, and my son's girlfriend. That was it. Pretty small, just kind of sitting around, just eating too much, and
Yeah,
you know how that goes, Terry.
I do. Yeah, yeah. There were 7 people at my house, including me and my wife. So pretty small.
Pretty small stuff, but something that's not small, Terry, and we'll get right into the news, is failed drug testing. So, we talk a lot about the government getting involved in horse racing, right? And here we go already, Terry. Bureaucracy strikes.
Yep.
So now you can't get a deal between the USADA, the Drug Testing Association, and horse racing with the federal government to do the what's the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency. So they couldn't come to an agreement with the government over this new program where they're going to start in July, where they're going to have universal standards from state to state to state for horse racing drugs.
Yeah, and they're kind of keeping it a mystery of why they couldn't come to an agreement. So I don't think anybody in the public really knows why.
It's government, Terry. You got to give the people
Yeah, I guess
right.
that's it. Yeah,
You
yeah,
got to hook them up with the winning tickets, so to
yeah,
speak.
yeah. That's
Yeah, I
true.
don't know if that's to be true or not, Terry, but I've read enough about people needing to make sure the appropriate people are compensated to make sure that you get rules passed, right?
Yeah, that's true. I've seen that a lot of times.
Mhm.
I've experienced it. So
In construction, right? You were in
yes,
construction before you were a horse racing expert, and
that's
I'm sure
right.
there were plenty of an inspector that that
Hmm.
thing right there is not on a scale of 1 to 10. It's 9.9. I can't let you go.
That's right, and that happens a lot. And if you make one of them mad, they can really goof you up. And one of my clients that happened to, and the only way that I got him to get it straightened out was to tell him that this inspector was really involved with kids sports. So if the client would give a donation to that kids sports, that would help. And they did. And of course, everything cleared right up.
Of course, Terry. It's better than Clearasil for kids with acne, right?
Yes.
The one thing yesterday that was just amazing, Terry, is Flightline. That wasn't yesterday? That was Saturday, right? Or was that yesterday? No, that was yesterday.
Yesterday, yes. It was
You
yesterday.
know, those days off kind of messed me up a little bit. You
Yeah, it
have
was.
Jay from the folks over at Horse Racing Nation. Jay Privman from DRF mentioned that he ran 118 speed figure, which is the highest number of the year. One of the last races of 2020 and 2021. And also Mark Milligan says time form rating of 133p. It's the highest he's ever awarded a horse on just their 3rd career start. Our
Yeah.
Sean asked over on Facebook that Flightline's race was, and then fill in the blank. Fill in your blank, Terry.
Okay, I thought it was one of the most fantastic races I'd ever seen. I couldn't believe that horse just put these horses away. I mean, I actually thought that Dr. Schivel would give him, would win that race. I really did.
Give him a little bit of business.
Yeah, because I felt like the Flightline had not ran against that class of horse yet, and that this was a little bit longer race, and that he might just have some problems. But no, this horse is a monster horse. This is a really good horse.
Turns out the
And
rest of them hadn't faced a horse like him.
No, that's true. And I
Yeah,
think if he hadn't got hurt in the spring, I think he might have won the Triple Crown.
you
So,
may have, right? So, well, we'll see next year with the Breeders' Cup and all that stuff if he'll have a chance to stay healthy and find his way into like the Breeders' Cup Classic and then smash all the other horses and make himself the horse of the year next year, right?
yeah, that's right.
So, what he was an easy winner, Terry. How about that? That's
He
what
was.
we're looking for always, right?
Yeah, between 11 and 12 lengths ahead, and without the jockey doing anything except for just kind of riding him.
Yeah, you and I were joking before the show started. You and I could have ridden him and probably still won.
I think so, yeah, especially even with my weight. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I've talked about this before. I rode a horse once in my life, and the horse did what it wanted to do, not what I wanted to do.
yeah.
And so we were doing like some horse racing lessons in Cincinnati, outside of Cincinnati, and this guy, a smart ass guy, but it was a nice guy. He had a barn. So and I know he put me on like the most difficult horse. An old man horse, didn't want nothing to do with, it just didn't want nothing to do with the kids or the people, but it's his job. And so I'm on the horse, and you're supposed to like squeeze it and lean and all that kind of stuff and pull on the reins. I pull for the horse to turn left, it would turn right. I would turn for the horse to stop, it would go. You know what I mean? I tell it to heel, and it would pick up pace. And it was like, all right, I get it. But then he decided to leave the barn, not once but twice with me on it.
Oh, wow.
And then there was like a training hill up there, and there was a young filly up there.
Oh,
Oh, and Grandpa was looking at the filly, but to get to the filly, he was gonna have to jump over a fence, swim through a pond to get to this hill. And I swear to you, I thought he was gonna do it, Terry. I was like, oh no, I'm about to do a little bit of steeplechase. So I don't even know if I could have ridden Flight Line yesterday to a W, but it would have been close.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the future to see how he does.
I imagine that yesterday you said you tried to beat him with your best bet with Dr. Shivel. Unfortunately, that didn't come to pass. But what do you got for us today?
Okay,
Well, tell us,
today
what else did you have? You did have Flightline in your
well,
pick,
I
though,
did.
right?
Yeah, I had Flightline as my third pick, and of course it won. And I had Triple Tap as my second pick, and Triple Tap didn't do much of anything, and neither did Dr. Shivel.
Mhm.
Baby Yoda, who was a horse I've played in the past and I really kind of liked in the past, ran a good second. Kept up with Flightline till, maybe this beginning of the stretch, but, So, and I think he went off at 17-1. So it was a good race.
I had him yesterday. Yeah, I had that one. So what do you got for us today? I know you're at Santa Anita because it's not every day that Santa Anita runs on Monday, but it is today. So you have Santa Anita today, race number 5, right?
That's right.
Mhm.
Beginning of the pick 5. So number 9, Mac Danny 2, has finished in the money in all of his last 5 races, winning 2 of those races. And in preparation for this race, he has a bullet workout on December 21st at 4 furlongs, 46.3. It was the best out of 16. Then I like number 4, Gregory's Pride. He's having a good year, finishing in the money in 5 out of his 6 starts and winning one of those races. He has one of the highest speed rating, last speed rating in the race. And then number 10, Mucho del Oro, won his last race at Del Mar, and like Santa Anita, finishing the money 100% of the time and winning 66% of those races.
It's got a lot of gold, Terry. Mucho del Oro, mucho gold for sure. That's what we're hoping to hit today. So I did a little bit of work, as you can see on the website, Terry. I changed the I don't know, the theme, I guess. What do you think about the new horse racing today website?
Well, I like it. I think it's really, first of all, easy to navigate in, and it's not cluttered up. It's really easy to see what you want to look at, and I really enjoyed looking at it.
Still got a little bit of work to do to try to figure out what goes over in this blank spot over here, but I'll figure it out, Terry, and get it up and running. But you like it because your picture's everywhere.
I do. I like that picture. That's a good looking picture there.
That's why you like it. Well, let's see, and let us know your comments too. If you like the website, hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. You see the handles below at Horse Race, the number 2 day, Horse Race Today. Tell us what you think about the new website. Hopefully, we had to put something up because the old one didn't have the right I don't know, it's some type of coding for Google's demands now on wireless devices like your telephones, and heaven forbid you upset our overlords at Google out by you, Terry, then we'll forever be banished to the backwoods of Hansel and Gretel with witches who want to eat us for dinner. Today we're going to do our Fly 4 at Santa Anita, because it's a Santa Anita Monday, Terry.
Yes.
It starts in race number 6. You had mentioned you did your best bets in race number 5, so that we can perhaps work our way through the pick 5. But let's hope we can hit a pick 4 for once, damn it.
Yep, we're due.
Oof, overdue. So gambler's fallacy. But one of the things that we always talk about is making sure that you use the picks, not just for the, don't take them as gospel, but at the same time, perhaps consider some of the horses that we talk about that maybe you didn't look at or didn't like. And then maybe think about exactas, trifectas, rolling doubles. There's all sorts of things you could do besides vertical sequential bets. Terry and I just want to talk about as many horses as we can.
Yeah.
So, race 6, Terry, is 1 mile on the main track. In the October meet, they ran 17 of these races, Terry. 14 of them were won by speed horses. In other words, first, second, or third at the quarter-mile marker. 6 runners in the field in total. There really was no bias at all between rails 1 through 7. I don't think anybody won in rail 8 and out, but that's not a factor here. So you have, like I said, a 6-horse field, Terry. Some interesting plays in here. Who do you want to start your pick for with?
Well, I like number 3, Mongolian Legend. He drops in class today. He finished 3rd against tougher horses last race, and he has the best dirt speed among today's starters. So that's my choice for first.
Yeah, he did win last time out. Well, he showed some speed last time out, and that was from the 7 post. Hasn't really broken from the inside in a while, so tough to see how he's going to do how he's going to do with the post position. Abel Cedillo's done okay, Terry, at these route races, but there's been one jockey that's been a standout at these route races compared to everybody else. I mean, he's just been the standout at Santa Anita, period, right?
Yeah.
And that's Flavian Pratt, the 2-horse, Bud Knight. If you remember when we had Steve Matthews from Newsday on our show, he mentioned that when you have these races where you have like lightly raced horses, and none of these horses have more than 1 win, right? They're all winners of 1. That's part of the condition book here.
Right.
He said if you go back and you look at how they broke their maiden, you'll find far more often than not, the horses that won at the highest level will be the class of this race too. And the 2-horse is the only horse in this field, Bud Knight, to break his maiden at the special weight and not in the maiden claiming group. So I know he hasn't really run well on dirt. Only tried it once. Most of his racing has been on the turf. But I feel like that maiden special weight, $50,000 win, plus the top jockey at Santa Anita, especially for distance races, should be enough to get Bud Knight to the finish line first.
All right. Well, I didn't have him as one of my choices, but I'll go for that. And the reason I didn't is I just didn't like his race July 10th, 2020 at Del Mar, and the only race on the dirt. He just didn't seem like he liked it at all. So
yeah, it didn't seem like he ran well there at all. But he did get off to a pretty good start, Terry. He ran the first. He was second at the first call and the second call.
Yeah.
So perhaps, and that was against higher level horses than most everything else is based in here. So we'll see. I'm hoping big time that I'm right on this one, Terry. You'll find out in a minute. So who else do you like?
I like number 5. It's a long shot, Sir Flatter. He has the highest last speed rating. The trainer wins 27% of the time after claiming a horse. This horse has a really good bullet workout November 21st, which shows he can really run pretty quick. He best out of 21. And he ran and won his last race, which was, of course, his maiden race that he broke his maiden. And a lot of times when horses win a race and they've been getting close and close, they come right back to win another one. It's like they like winning. So
they figured it out, so to speak. Well, he did run the highest last race speed figure, but that was at Los Alamitos. So a little bit different track than you have at little tighter turns than at Santa Anita. I do like it as well, Terry, as a potential long shot in there. I do have it highly ranked. I do like the fact that last time out, when you look at its early pace figures, they were the best early pace figures that this horse has ever put together. The fractions weren't necessarily the fastest, but nonetheless did pretty well. So I do expect you're going to see Surf Ladder get out towards the front. And as I mentioned, speed has been the way to win. 14 of 17 winners. I just don't know that he's going to have the legs to keep it up, but I do have him in there as a potential long shot. With only 6 horses in this field, Terry, with us having 3 of them, I don't know that we need any other horse. But if I were to put another horse in here, Terry, it would probably be looking at the. It would either be the 1, probably, or the 6, and I would lean towards the 1. Again, looking back at where they broke their maiden, the 1 horse broke its maiden, and maiden claiming 40,000, which is it's the 3rd best behind the 3 horse and the 2 horse.
Yeah, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. That's how I see it too. And one of the things I really like is it's very consistent. If you look at those speed ratings, it's always in the 80s. So I think this is, and it's got a lot of early speed. The last workout was fairly decent. So yeah, I like the 1. We can put that up to the side in case there's a scratch.
It does worry me a little bit because the horse did show some speed last time, second off a layoff. It's been in the money 4 out of 8 at Santa Anita. And you look at the 1 and the 5, they're basically the same horse in terms of how they ran last time out. So the question is, which one's better?
Yeah.
Race number 7, Terry, is Mile on the Turf. We have 10 runners in this race, provided there's not a scratch, right? I think there's also an also entry in here, or also eligible, depending on how you call it.
Mm-hmm.
They've had 30 races at this distance in the October meet. 16 were won by speed, so it's a fair distance. I mean, you're only 1 off from 50 to 50. But of those 16 speed horses, 8 of them, so half, went wire to wire. The inside 7 posts have all won at pretty even numbers. There has not been a winner, or wasn't a winner, in the October meet wearing an 8 or higher. And then it seems to me that that's, you say, well, maybe there weren't that many horses in the race, right? But the average field size was 7.6, so close to 8 horses, so a little under 8. So that probably explains why it wasn't an 8-horse winner. All right, Terry. So you got maiden, you have a turf, optional claiming 20,000 winners, non-winners of more than one lifetime. So once again, you're in that place where you have horses that have only won once, Terry. I know they've won. This is not more than one once in the year, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, who do you like?
I like number 1, Alligator. And at Del Mar, it ran 3rd, just beaten like a half a length, but it was crowded and came 5 wide into the stretch. So it's got a fairly decent workout on 20th of December, 1 minute 2 handling, 6th best out of 29.
Yeah, I also have the 1 horse highly rated in my picks today, Terry. The only thing is it hasn't done the 2-turn thing yet, right?
Right.
So that's a big concern for me in Alligator. Juan Hernandez has done okay at longer distances. I'm all right with that. But the one thing that does give me hope that the 1 horse will be able to take to 2 turns is when you look at those late pace figures, Terry. Mm-hmm. They're better than anybody else's in this field. So that tells me the horse should be able to handle the 2 turns. Usually when I'm looking at horses that make that first time they make that 2 turns, I want to see that they're either going to blast out to a big lead and be able to handle those turns, or they have a really good late pace figures that tells me that they'll be coming on at the end of the race, which is what I expect you're going to see Alligator do, find his way late. My top choice is number 1 was my top choice, but number 6, Wilder Than Most, is my top choice, coming off of a little bit of a break. Hasn't run since November 3rd. Once again, you have Flavian Pratt. Kind of hard to bet against him at Santa Anita, Terry, to be honest with you. He's a fantastic jockey out there. But if you look at this horse last time out, showed some really good early strong run, Terry, at Del Mar on November the 3rd. Its best numbers in terms of early pace. Normally, this horse had some pretty good late pace numbers as well. So I'm expecting him to put both of the pieces together this time out. Get near the front, have a very difficult time for the other horses to pass him. Last time out, was the favorite at about, I don't know, maybe 7-5, 6-5, 8-5, somewhere in that range. Failed to win, but I expect you're going to see a better run off the break this time than you did last time.
Oh, I agree. Is my second choice, and he'll have a better run if he's not pinballed as much as he was in this last race.
Mm.
I also like Harley Gaines as a trainer, so I think that's a good thing. And it has a good workout December 17th. So for all the reasons you said, I think it's a good choice.
And also broke its maiden at a mile at Delmar. So I do like that too. And if you look at that 2 races back at Santa Anita, the 1 mile that it ran at Santa Anita, that time of 1:32.4 was the winning time. It was about a length and a half behind that. So you can add in maybe 0.2 of a second, maybe 0.3, depending upon how fast they were going. So that'd be about 1:32.7. If you can run 1:32.7 in here, wider than most, will make easy work. You won't look like Flightline, Terry, but it'll be close.
Yes, I understand that. So, all right. Well, my next pick, which is my third choice, is Fly to Mars, number 3. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and he also has the best turf speed among today's starters. And if you look over there, he's been favorite almost every race of his career, all but three that I can see here.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in the money 4 out of 8 times. I mean, 4 out of 8 races this month or this year.
This year, there's a lot of races this month.
That'd be
He's running
cool.
every other day.
Well, they do that at some of these little small tracks. So anyway, and he likes Santa Anita. He's won 5 out of 15. He likes the distance. He's been in the money 9 out of 14, winning 4 of those. He has a halfway decent workout.
I had the 3 rated in my. I was looking at the 3. Yeah, everybody likes Johnny V, good jockey Johnny Velasquez. But when I was looking at the numbers from the October meet, actually for all of the meet from January through October at Santa Anita last year, Johnny really didn't do all that good on long turf races, which kind of found interesting to me. It was also interesting to me that Flavien Prat had been on this horse a lot, and ran pretty successfully with him on there too. Right. And chose not to ride him here, chose to ride the 6 horse, which I find to be interesting. So I do like him, Terry. I just don't think he's gonna win, but I have him rated in my top picks as well. Another horse that I did like in here, Terry, is the outside horse. Well, it might be the outside horse, number 10, Dr. Troutman. Last time out, the horse did run on dirt, but it did win. It posted the top last race speed figure. But if you go back and look, the horse has also run pretty well on turf. Gets near the front, Terry. Speed has won. I mentioned that nobody has won from outside number 8. So maybe I'm really trying to break a trend with this one. But I do think it'll be in the money, Terry. Be a good one to have on your Exactus trifecta tickets. And if you look, the horse last ran on December 21st, ran a really good race. And then since then, he put in a bullet workout after that, Terry. So, and that was the fastest of 20 at Los Alamitos, where he ran a 58-4 for 5 furlongs, which is a pretty impressive number. Looking at Santa Anita's, covered that track 19 times, finished in the money 9 of those 19 times, and has finished at the distance 10 of 18. No wins yet, but I think he can put in a surprising effort from near the front.
All right, I didn't have as one of my choices, but you've talked me into it. So
you want to put him off to the side, or you want to put him in?
Let's put him in. He's 20-1. I like that odds.
Yeah, nice to have a 20-1 winner. Although I think between the 1 and the 6, maybe the 3, you probably have the winner in those 2. If there's a scratch, who do you like?
I like number 4, River Rose at 12-1. Had a good second last time out at Golden Gate Fields, and of course he's coming up from Golden Gate Fields. A lot of people think, they can't do as well, but I think they do fairly decent, especially here recently. So ran a good second last time out, and so let's put it off to the side in case there's a
Forgive me for a moment there. I have a little heater on in my room because I'm in the dungeon down here, and sometimes it gets a little cold because upstairs when people are cooking and it doesn't fire the thermostat, so it can get a little cold in the basement, and it just popped the fuse. So on the circuit breaker extender that you call that thing you plug into the wall. Anyway. but I had to go under there and turn it off so I could see my computer screen just went bleep black. I kind of surprised that I'm still here. All right, race number 8, 7 furlongs on the dirt. Terry, they ran not too many. This is kind of a really odd distance at Santa Anita. They only ran 6 races, Terry. 5 of them were won by speed horses. And then you had only one of those 5 that went wire to wire. It looks to me like you want to be in the inside 3 because they won. Well, half of the horses that won, so 3 of the 6 were on the rail. 2 of the remaining 3 ran either from the 2-hole or the 3-hole. And then, so that only leaves 1 for somewhere else, Terry. What do you think when I look at these horses, Terry, on the inside, Terry, for speed horses? There really isn't speed in the 1, 2, or 3. Maybe the 3 horse has a little bit of giddy up and go, but not a lot of inside speed there, Terry. So if there's going to be an inside speed horse, it's going to be the 1 horse. That's Braun.
Mm-hmm.
He does show some early pace. He is a Bob Baffert horse. Hopefully, Bob gave him the good hay for this race. Yeah. And when he's coming on, he's coming off of a break, is dropping a little bit in class, Terry, and put in a pretty good workout last time out. Was 5 furlongs, 1 minute and a tenth of a second. The 5th fastest of 52. And when you look at the horses starts off of a break, it usually does get off to a pretty good start. So I think the 1 horse, Braun, has a pretty good chance to get out, get to the front, and make it 4 out of 7 winners from the rail and another speed horse.
Yeah, I agree with you. And of course, Baffert owns this horse. So
he gave him the good hay.
Yeah, so I'm sure he did. Yeah, and drops in class. And the horse not only is the last workout good, but 3 or 4 workouts prior to that were very good. So it's one of my choices too.
I hope that one of the hands rubbed him down too with the good oil.
Yeah.
Just all jokes, folks. Of course, just joking. Who else do you like?
I like number 2, Ronimo. He's figures to improve while returning to dirt. I didn't think he cared that much for the turf. Anyway, he's drops in class today. He's been raced twice on the dirt here at Santa Anita, and he's ran 2nd once. The distance should be no problem. He ran 2nd at this distance. So
a little bit of a closer, Terry. So he's going to have to break the mold of what wins at 7 furlongs. Although, to be honest, 6 races is not really a big data set to make grand proclamations. Number 7, Sly, Terry, is a horse that's interesting to me. It's making its 4 start off a layoff. Last time out, it did try to run on dirt at Los Alamitos. Mm-hmm. Got towards the front, Terry. Was pretty well bet. Was 4-1. I mean, not overwhelmingly favored it, but still 4-1 tells you that it was liked by the bettors. When I look at those fractions, Terry, the fractions were pretty good. When I look at the 1 mile time at Santa Anita, and the 6 furlong times that it's run at Santa Anita, I went back and looked, and it looks to me like if it can just run a race pretty similar to the last time out where it ran 6 furlongs in a mile race, 1:12 and 4, and it's run faster than that in the past too, I feel like that would be fast enough to win. So Sly was a $100,000 horse. I like the big improvement in the late pace figures last time, Terry. It was one time it was the second time in the last 10 races that its late pace figure was bigger than its final speed figure. The time it did that before, it came back to win the next race. So I'm kind of curious to see how that plays out.
All right. I didn't have it as one of my picks, but this is a wide open race. So I'll go with that.
All right. What else are you going to go with?
Okay. I like number 4, Charge Cash. And Charge Cash got the highest last race speed rating. Drops in class today. The trainer wins 20% of the time when claiming a horse. And, ran against tougher last race and ran a good second, only beaten ahead. Shows that it can run with some early speed. Of course, Doug O'Neill trains it and has a good jockey.
Well, I always like that dropping in class, highest last race speed figure combination, Terry. It's been one that I've played many, 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 many times, and many, many, many times it's turned to be a winner for me. It is a horse that should be close to the pace, is making its 2nd start off a layoff, typically does improve, Terry, in round 2 off the bench. So if it ran the highest last race speed figure last time, it's tougher competition, facing not as strong a group here, and has a history of improving around 2 off the bench. That's a combination that should make Charge Cash difficult to beat. If there is a scratch in this spot, Terry, I would probably lean towards the 5 horse active account. How about you?
Yeah, the 5 horse looks good, but I would also like to put, if there's 2 scratches, I'd like to put number 8 Harbor Sky. If you look, it's 2 for 2 at Santa Anita. So the last race at Golden Gate Fields, it didn't run very well, but it stumbled at the start, and it was 3 wide coming in the stretch. So
yeah, those 2 races, it is undefeated in 2 at Santa Anita. Both were at a mile.
yeah,
So a little bit longer than today's race, but at the coming into the stretch, it had the lead and pulled away too. It's a little bit lower in terms of the competition that was facing there. Maiden claiming 20, claiming 16,000 non-winners, but got claimed in that race and then bumped up and couldn't handle the competition. So I was a little bit concerned about the competition in those 2 races, although it was the betting favorite and did what it had to do to get the job done. And that's what you want the horse to do, right?
that's right.
Finally, Terry, race number 9, we go out to a mile on the turf. We talked about the fact that they ran 30 of those races, pretty fair, 16 speed winners, 14 stalkers, closers. So that's kind of fair. 8 of the 16 went wire to wire, and you probably want to have an inside post, inside 7 if possible. But again, I don't know that you have enough data. 30 races is enough data to say that that's the case. All right, so I'm going to start this race, Terry, with number 9. That is Annie's Song. This horse is coming in from it's making its second start. It ran at Newmarket in Great Britain, which is one of their better tracks. I know that from dealing Foreign Fridays with Tom. It's a first-tier track. It's run on the turf 4 times, Terry. Has a win and 3/3, so it's never run off the board in its 4 races on the turf. When you look at its runs over in Europe on good surfaces, it ran really well. And its debut here, it finished 3rd by 3 3/4. Almost had the lead in the stretch, second by a length. So I'm expecting Flavian, again, there's that name, to have some improvement. And if you look through the other horses that are in this field, he's ridden a lot of them. Or a few of them anyway, some of which are other favorites in here. And he's decided to ride the 9 horse. So I'm guessing that he feels like that horse is the best one in the field.
Yeah, that's my top pick as well. I like the fact that she's ran 4 out of 5 in the money. And also that last race at Del Mar was a really good race. First race since coming over from Newmarket, from Great Britain. And so I'll go with that.
All right. Who else are you going to go with?
Okay, I like number 4, Hermery, I guess.
Yeah, good enough.
Hemorrhoid. What?
Hemorrhoid. Yes, that would be a hell of a name for a horse.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Hemmerly. How about
All right, Hemmerly. Good. Well, it was the favorite last time out. And whenever the jockey, Richard Mandela, brings a beaten favorite back, he wins 26% of the time. And this horse has the best turf speed today among the starters. He's really sharp workout on December 22nd. 3rd best out of 21, 1:02, handling at 5 furlongs.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at that horse too, Terry. It's a closer, so it's not going to be near the front. And so when I was looking at it relative to the other closers, it didn't really have kind of the late pace figures that some of the other ones have. So I was concerned that it won't get in front of the horses that are faster than it. And then it doesn't have the late legs to pass the ones that also have some good late pace figures as well. So for me, I'm going to go with number 8, Granola Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Granola Girl is one of those horses, much like the 4 horse, Terry, that's not going to be near the lead, though it might be in front of the 4 horse because it has shown some speed in the past. It does have some better late pace figures, and they've been proved 3 races in a row. And what I like about this horse too, when I went back and looked at how the jockeys do specifically in routes and on turf, aside from Flavian Pratt, who we've talked about many times already today, Kent DeSormo does really well on long dirt and turf races. So I feel like Kent's going to get this horse properly positioned. And then when it's time to make that late run, will do so very well. It's interesting that Flavian was on this horse before and decided to ride the 9 horse, but he might regret that if Kent Desormeaux can keep this horse right next to the 9 horse.
Yeah, that was my 4th pick, so I like the horse quite a bit. Kent's been riding really well lately, and the trainer wins 30% of the time when he goes from a sprint to a route. And this last race was a big improvement in the speed rating from 67 the race before to 82.
Yeah, so I feel like you're going to see a good race out of that horse. All right, last horse for the day, Terry. Who do you got for this final and 4th spot?
I like number 12, Duvet Day. This horse just came over from Europe, and it ran a race at Del Mar. It ran 4th by 4 lengths.
Mhm.
And it to me, it's won had 2 seconds out of 3 starts, and I think it'll do pretty well today.
Well, over in I know this again from doing Foreign Fridays with Tom, Terry, that the Irish races tend to attract better horses than the English races do, because the pools, the money pools, the payouts are bigger for the horses, right?
Yeah.
So not the money pools, that's the betting. So that's the the prize pools are bigger for the horses in Ireland than they are in England. So they tend to attract bigger horses. The one thing it kind of concerned me a little bit about, and I know they got a pretty tough start last time out with Duvet Day, but it raced against Anasong, as did the 9 horse, and well, that is Anasong, and it finished behind that horse. So maybe it passes it this time around. Tough to say. It was and when you look at how the action was in terms of betting, there was more money on Annie Song than there was on Duvet Bay. So the bettors like that horse a little bit better too back then, and they proved to be right. Another horse that I was looking at in here, Terry, is the 5 horse. Pammy's Ready, ridden by Umberto Rispoli. The horse was trained by Peter Miller. He's not trained anymore, but last time out, didn't break its maiden, Terry, but it did run a very strong race as a $3, 3-1, 3-1 with 3-1 odds. It was the first time Umberto rode that horse, and he just missed by a nose at 5 furlongs, Terry. So I feel like, looking at the late pace figures in this horse, the extra distance is probably going to help it out a little bit.
Okay.
So the question is, do you want to go with the 5 horse or the 12 horse? I'm going to let you make the 50-50 decision. So when it doesn't hit, you can get all the fun emails.
Yes, I understand what you're saying there. You know what? I'm going to tell you that I want to go with the. I want to go with the 5. Yeah.
Are you sure?
5. Yeah, I just now looked.
All right. So we'll go with the 5 horse. We'll see how it works out, Terry. If you like the 12 horse, I would suggest you go with the 12 horse. But for me, I did like the 5 horse because I like a little bit better odds. So it should be fun to see how that works out. So Tom doesn't think that it's going to be a 10 furlong horse. He says he ran 7 furlongs yesterday going 1 turn. That we'll see what happens when he does 2, right? Well, it's always the big test for these horses, right?
It is. And if there's one scratched, I'd like to put the 6 off to the side, Darling Donna.
All right.
Finished 3rd versus similar last race, and has a sharp workout on December 20th. It's been in the money all 3 times that it's raced.
I remember Concert Tour when we had Robertino Diodoro on, talking about how that horse looked just like monstrous in its race. And then it just, after that monstrous win in the Arkansas, that wasn't the Arkansas Derby, but it was one of those races down there in Arkansas, prep races. And then next time out, just did not look the same. All right, Terry, there is our Fly 4 for the last week of December of 2021. Hopefully we can close out this year on a party note. In race number 6, we like the 2, the 3, and the 5. Terry didn't have the 2. And I'm going to be wholly dependent on that 2 in a moment. Race number 7, and the reason I like them, again, just to reiterate, is he won. And when you have these horses that have only won one race, Steve Matthews, one of our guests, mentioned that you have to go back and look to see where they broke their maiden. And class usually plays out in these races. He only won the break his maiden at special weight. Race number 7, we have the 1, the 3, the 6, the 10, the 4 as an alternative because I don't think the scratches have been released yet. Race number 8, the 1, 2, 4, 7. We got a couple on the side there, a little bit of disagreement, the 5 and the 8. Race number 9, we have the 4, 8, and 9. Terry and I went back and forth on the 5 and the 12. Decided to go with the 5, so that means look out for the 12, Terry.
That's right.
So that is our Fly 4 to start the week. Again, as we mentioned before, make sure you look at exactas, trifectas, rolling doubles, that sort of thing throughout here, because many times Terry and I will miss one leg, but we'll have a couple of exactas and a couple trifectas, even maybe occasional superfecta in our picks there as well. So we both, as always, put together our hot dog version. So when Nathan's is ready to sponsor us, we'll do it. We'll call it the Nathan's hot dog or the Oscar Mayer hot dog or some hot dog.
Yeah, Miller hot dog.
If you're a marketing person, get us the agreement with a hot dog company. So Terry, tell us how you put together your pick 4.
Okay, well, in the 6th race, I like the 3 and the 5. In the 7th race, I like the 1, 3, 6. In the 8th race, I like the 2 and the 4. In the 9th race, I like the 4, 9, and the 12.
I'm going to be dependent on that 2 horse in the first leg, Terry. I singled the 2 horse because I felt like when I just put all of the pieces together, of all the horses in this sequence, it is the one that has the best chance to win as a single. Then I went with the 1 and the 6. I really feel like I almost singled the 6 here as well, Terry, but I wanted to give it a little bit of competition, so I went with the 1. And then I went 4 deep in race number 8 and 5 deep in race number 9. So if I can make it to race number 8, Terry, I should have a pretty good chance to close out my hot dog pick 4.
Yep. Looks like
We'll see. Yes. I mean, you're not a big fan of that 2 horse, so that's going to be the key for me, obviously. And then we have our box it up for today. Terry, you're going to do Santa Anita race number 3. So that means you did race 3, 4. No, you did 3. You skipped the race in there, huh?
I skipped it. I tried to do 4, but I just didn't like it.
So you have to figure out which horses you like on your own for the pick 6 then, huh?
That's right. Yep.
So as we mentioned, this is a box it up. As you can see on the bottom, 4 horses, $1 exacta box, 50-cent try box, 10-cent superfecta box. We've had some nice trifectas and nice exactas in here so far, Terry, but yet to find a superfecta. So hopefully today's the day. What do you got?
Yeah, I like at Santa Anita, that 3rd race. I like number 7, Prince Obama.
Prince
Whatever.
Obama. Yes.
Yeah.
Used to be the president. Now he's a prince.
That's why I chuckled, because I didn't even think about that till just now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like number 2, Limu Bay. And I like number 4, Appreciated. Which
we all like to be appreciated, Terry.
Yeah, and that's a name that I can say. And number 3, Niles Channel. So, and some of these horses are pretty good prices. So I'm hoping to get a good trifecta, superfecta. So
yes, indeed. I went to Fairgrounds race 4. I did all my work last night. The 4 horse was, again, it was a best bet over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. And then, of course, the 4 horse scratched. So, but I had done all my homework on this race. So I stuck with Fairgrounds race 4 anyway. These are now our top 4 selections over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. I have the 1 horse Gulfstream Way, number 5 On Your Mark, number 9 Populist. So we have a president in both races, right?
Yep.
And number 8 Schmoozing, which is kind of like a holiday theme, right? When you're schmoozing. So that's my box it up today. Fairgrounds race 4. Speaking of Guaranteed Tip Sheet, if you're betting Mahoning Valley today, Terry, it is the free track of the day. So if you go over to guaranteedtipsheet.com, you'll see Mahoning Valley free. All you need to do is register. And then when you click on Mahoning Valley, you will see there are today's picks.
Yeah,
hopefully a lot of winners in there.
That's interesting too, because that's what we're going to do tomorrow is Mahoning Valley for the race.
Let's see if we tighten it up nice and neat, right?
Mm-hmm.
For sure. All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Any final thoughts for this Monday, Terry?
Well, just stay safe and get ready for New Year's. And I'm hoping that 2022 is going to be a great year for everybody.
Can I make a prediction about 2022, Terry?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
I'm going to predict that by June, COVID is over.
All right. I think you might be right.
Yes, I think I'm absolutely correct. It will be, COVID will be a thing of the past. I'm hoping. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Fingers crossed. Between here and there, Terry, if folks like what they saw today, what should they do?
Well, they should subscribe on YouTube and then follow us on Twitter at Horse Race 2,
The number?
Day, number 2. Like us on Facebook at Horse Race, the number 2 day. And just, if you gives us thumbs up, and everywhere.
Yes, if you like what you saw today, please tell your friends about us. That's how we grow. Give us a thumbs up on Facebook, like us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, thumbs up on YouTube, like us on Twitter, follow us and retweet on Twitter. All those things help us move up their algorithms. As always, we hope you have a fantastic Monday, Terry. May all your picks and your holiday week end up in the
winner's circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic Monday.